Putin asks Obama why the US media shut down Donald Trump's speech at Black Church, but he gets no reply. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is reportedly today that when President Putin queried President Obama of the United States at the G20 summit in China why the US media suddenly backed out Donald Trump's appearance at the African American Great Faith Ministries Church on Saturday, September 3rd, when that church leader, Bishop Wayne Jackson, presented him with a Jewish prayer shawl and Christian Bible, Obama not only refused to answer, but abruptly ended the meeting. According to the report, President Putin became concerned about this U.S. censorship move after being informed that CNN International from Europe abruptly went to a black screen during Donald Trump's appearance at the Great Faith Ministries Church without explanation, but was later discovered to have been ordered by the Reuters news service, whose camera was the only one broadcasting this event to other media outlets. To what exactly Reuters news service did in blacking out Donald Trump to not only the entire American viewing audience, but also the world too, the report explains, was captured by a hot mic where the cameraman is heard saying, quote, "I'm shooting this, I don't care what they say. I'll take a demotion for this. You?" End quote. And that was followed with the intense voice of a camera increasing, "Shut it down," followed by the camera asking, "Shut this down." And the response, "Yeah, blackout." Seconds later, in the middle of Bishop Jackson's remark to Donald Trump, the feed was cut. This report further notes that the American media isn't only censoring news about Donald Trump, but Hillary Clinton too, but for entirely different reasons, as new and serious concerns about her health are being raised. The latest being from President Obama's own personal physician, Dr. David Shaner, who recently suggested that she has apparently lost cognitive ability and needed to undergo a neurological examination. Dr. Shiner's assessment of Hillary Clinton's grave health status has been echoed by other prominent American physicians, the report says, including the popular CNN television program host Dr. Drew Pinsky, who has said he was gravely concerned not just about her health, but her health care, after which he was immediately fired by CNN, with the New York Press reporting, quote, "Dr. Drew was canceled 8 days after Pinsky discussed Clinton's health on a radio show, saying he was gravely concerned not just about her health, but her health care. CNN is so supportive of Clinton, network honchos acted like the mafia when confronting Drew," a source told me. First, they demanded he retract his comments, but he wouldn't. What followed was a series of nasty phone calls and emails. "It was downright scary and creepy," a source close to Pinsky said. Though the U.S. media has indeed continued their censorship of Hillary Clinton's grave health status, the report continues, the same doesn't apply to average American citizens who continue to uncover and post on social media devastating videos of her many fails and stroke-like actions that give pause to anyone wondering she's even able to survive this election, let alone govern an entire nation, should she be able to buy the presidency as she and her supporters have long sought. And as another example of Hillary Clinton's bizarre judgment that may be related to her deteriorating brain, the report notes, were recent reports that while fundraising among America's elite, she astoundingly offered to answer questions from children, but only if they paid her $2,700, while at the same time she was refused to hold a press conference in nearly 300 days, and says she will only hold one if she's elected. This report concludes by noting that after President Obama refused to answer President Putin's questions as to why Donald Trump was being censored in the American press, one of the Obama regime official mouthpiece propaganda media outlets, the Washington Post, immediately ran a typical hit article titled "Intelligence Community Investigating Covert Russian Influence Operations in the United States." And that Ministry of Foreign Affairs analyst countered by stating, quote, though the United States is using a Soviet communist rulebook on how to fabricate elections using mass media propaganda, at least when we used it, we got it right, end quote. And as perhaps best exampled by the former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, who said, it is enough that the people know there was an election. The people who cast votes decide nothing. The people who count the votes decide everything. And explains last week's news from the United States. Department of Homeland Security considers taking over election in name of security. I'll leave a link below for you for this article.